Hi everybody, so today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Instead of doing videos about cars and other shenanigans involving motors, I'm going to talk about the Libre FreeStyle. Essentially what that is, it's a blood monitoring system or glucose monitoring system for people that are diabetic. And instead of pricking your fingers with a needle 6 times a day or however often you do it, you get your phone, you swipe it over this little sensor and it gives you a reading. It is simple yet effective. Now I've been using this for coming up 6 weeks now, and I can honestly say that it has completely changed the way I view my diabetes and how I have taken control of it. So what this video is going to maybe have a look at, well, should hopefully have a look at, is how you apply the applicator or the sensor and how you take one off. You do get instruction manuals with them, which is all about how you take it off, but how you put it on, but there's nothing really about how you can take it off. And there's a few little sort of concerns that I had when I first used it that I wasn't really aware of. So hopefully I'm going to try and clear some stuff up for you. If maybe you're concerned, or if this is your first time using it. And it's probably, this video is aimed more at if this is the first time you're going to use this sensor. So when you get it in the UK, I'm not too sure how this looks elsewhere, but I'm guessing the brand packaging is going to be the same. It comes in a box, something like this, and it's everything you need is in here. Now when you get it, you might also, depending on where you are, you might also get one of these. So this here is your Libre FreeStyle reader. So a lot of people will use the app on their phone, so I've got both. I've got it on my phone and I've got this as well. Now this is a handy little thing just in case your phone runs out of battery, maybe you break your phone, or even sometimes if it gets stolen. Now these are expensive. I'm not really too sure on the pricing, and I know that not everybody gets it. Now I believe as well that you can still do the traditional finger pricking where you put a drop of blood onto a glucose strip and insert into the bottom. So it's a bit of a two-way combination. So having a look at this packet here, like I said, this is everything that you're going to need to apply your new sensor. When you open it up, you'll be greeted with a set of instructions, and you're probably thinking, yeah, great, so why do I need this video? Well, the instructions are fantastic. This gives you a step-by-step process on how to apply it. Follow this 100% because this will do you no wrong, but what I'm hoping is that some of the little sort of things that I've found along the way might help. So you get your instructions, you get this device here, which is essentially the plunger, and you get your sensor in here. Now it's very important that the codes that are on the bottom here match up. Something to do with how it reads. I'm not really too technically apt on this, so I'm not honestly too sure, but they should always be the same. Now you will also receive 2 of these, which are alcohol wipes. Now these are quite good for when you remove your old sensor to get off some of the gel or some of the stickiness that's been left over. And then obviously you'll need one to clean the skin before you apply it on. So this video is going to be a little bit back to front. I'm currently wearing mine. You can just see it here. Now this has lasted me for 14 days. I believe in America the sensors only last for 12 days. I'm not quite too sure why that is, but certainly in the UK this is, you can get the 14-day sensor with this, which this is. So I applied this 2 weeks ago, and on my phone, because I traditionally use it on my phone, it gives you sort of a timeline on when your sensor is going to need replaced, and at the moment you can see that it says that my sensor is currently ended. Now if you had a look at that graph quickly, you'll see that my sugar levels are a bit kind of up and downy, but I'll go over some of that as well, hopefully as well. So what we're going to do first off is we're going to take off the old sensor, and you can actually see what the sensor and what is going to be going into your skin. Now it's fairly simple. After it's been on for about the 2 weeks or the 14 days, it will start to soften up. Now if you try and take this off after a couple of days, you're going to be in for a battle, because it is sticky as anything. It's like anything else, take your time with it, don't remove it like a plaster. That is quite sore, well I find it quite sore anyway. So we're just gonna gently take this off. Now there might be some sort of congealed blood underneath. It's not that uncommon for these to bleed. I'm just gently taking mine off, so you can see it there. There we go. Okay, so this is the sensor here. Now you can see here that there's, or hopefully you can see here, that there is a little wire as such. Now what that does is that's what sits underneath your skin, so that actually will get inserted into your skin, and then that's how basically the sensor reads what your blood glucose levels is. If you go on the Libre website, they will tell you exactly how these things work, so I'm not going to go into that. Now when I first got this, I actually thought it was a needle that went into it, and that kind of put me off a lot. I know, imagine that, a diabetic that doesn't like needles. But that's not all that is, that's just a sensor. So once that's off, it's quite simple. Give that a wash. You'll see there's probably a bit of residue on there. I can't really see that part of my arm, but there's probably a little bit of residue and fluff and stuff like that, so I'll wash that off later on. Now if the sensor is faulty or if it falls off, you need to keep hold of the sensor. The code is on the side of the sensor, on this side here, and then Libre might ask for it back to research as to why it's failed. So don't chuck these away if it's come off before the 14 days, because Libre will send you another one. Their customer service base is really good. I think my first one lasted me about 5 days before I ripped it off on a door by accident, but that's neither here nor there. Now you've got your applicator and you've got your sensor here, so what we're going to do is peel the lid off, and then you're confronted with that. Stick that on the floor or on the ground even, and then if you twist this, okay, it comes off, and then that is a part of the applicator there, so it's kind of in two parts. What you need to do is you need to line these two up together, if I can remember, there we go, and then you just push it down like that. Once that's done, this is now out, so your sensor is in here ready to rock and roll. Now the one thing that I did not get told about when doing the training course for this, or when I first got it, is that there is a sizable needle in this. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can see that or not, but there's a needle right there. Now one of the first things it says, or you get if you do the training, is basically you need to be careful with this so you don't apply it to somewhere by accident. So, you know, like lower arm or your chest, or if you're so well inclined to put it on your face, because that needle will go into you. The needle doesn't actually stay inside you though, which I know, talking to a few people, they were a bit concerned about. The needle just fires in and out, and all that's going to do is it'll stick that little sensor sticking out there underneath your arm. That's all it does. So once you've got that, it's a case of finding where you want to put it. Now because I've had it on my right arm, I'm now going to stick it onto my left arm. Now placing the sensor properly is quite important, and I'll tell you why. There's certain areas, I believe, that the sensor will read, or it will read your glucose best, and that is in the very back of your arm here. Now when you first do it, it's not actually that uncommon, I've found anyway, to have the sensor sitting somewhere around here. Now it will still work, But the only danger is now that if you're like me and you kind of spatial awareness sometimes isn't the best, you've got a higher chance of knocking it and actually ripping or making the sensor fall off, which is what I did the first time round. So what I tend to find is it says in the instruction manual basically to do that with your arm, but what I find best is if you do get your arm up like this and do it like that. It's all well and good doing it this way, but you tend to find if you're cleaning that part of your arm, by the time you twist it around, it's actually on the side. So give it a good clean. You're taking away any sort of dirt, any bacteria. If you work in a sort of a mechanical industry and you're getting oily, you're getting quite dirty, you got to remember that this is an invasive bit of kit. So it is going to break the skin, and it will stay on you for, well, hopefully it will stay on you for 2 weeks. So it's always something to bear in mind. Now, that's my arm clean. All I'm going to do is I'm going to get this, and I'm essentially going to plunge it on to my skin. So if you ever used one of the date stamps for stamping a bit of paper, essentially the same thing. So I find an area, I'm probably going to put mine roughly there. Okay, so that's it. So now all I'm going to do is push it in. It doesn't hurt, which is what I found quite strange, is it doesn't hurt at all. Sometimes will nip, but it's not to the point you're going to be screaming in pain. I think if you're screaming in pain, you've probably put it in the wrong area, or you've nicked a muscle. Now I leave this on, I keep it compressed for a wee while, and that's just to ensure that the glue's going to stick and going to get a good purchase on my skin. Because like I said, I don't want this falling off anytime soon. When you take this off, you need to be careful to take it off slowly. Don't go ripping away the plunger, because you might run the risk of taking the sensor with you. So I'm going to take this off now. Now I could probably let go of this plunger and it'll stay on my arm, but if there we go, slowly wiggle it off, that's what you're left with. And there we have the sensor. Now what you might not be aware of is that sometimes this will bleed. Now what sometimes happens is the wee hole in here will just start streaming with blood, or it might just start dripping with blood. It's nothing to be concerned about. The sensor's not broken, it's not going to go faulty. I actually found that, or they're known as bleeders, but I actually found that when my sensor started bleeding through the middle, I got a more accurate blood glucose level than one that didn't. So just have a wee check, rub your finger over it or have a tissue, especially if you're wearing a white t-shirt or a white shirt. The last thing you want is to get blood on your arm. That's it, it's applied, job done. Now the needle is still in here, so you need to dispose of this in the proper means. So I'll always pop this back in here. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky. Well, it's not that tricky, but it's a good bit to know. If you're wanting to use your mobile phone for the scanning, and you're also wanting to use the device that comes with it, you need to scan this device first. Now the reason for that is if you scan your mobile phone first and you try and scan this first for a new sensor, this one second, this will not work. It physically will not allow you. You'll have to register a new sensor completely, which means that the one on your phone won't work. Now if you're self-funding these, I believe each one of these sensors costs about £98, so they're not exactly that cheap, so you've got to do it right the first time round. Now like I said, I like having both, just in case I forget my phone's broken, somebody steals it, anything can happen with your phones. So I always link this up first. I might not use it, but it's always handy to have a backup. So I'm going to put this on, hopefully. Okay, so that one's run out of battery, so that's a bit, well, not to worry. Okay, so on your phone, it's exactly the same principle on the phone as it is on your wee device here. So all you have to do is press where it says scan new sensor. It says ready to scan. I hold it over, and then it's come up saying sensor can be used within 60 minutes. So basically, once you've scanned it over, within the hour or in an hour's time, you will then be able to start scanning for the 2-week period. Now this is kind of like a wee settling in period to make sure that the sensor is working, to make sure the connection's working, and stuff like that. Again, the same goes for this. I don't know why this is not working. I think I can't remember actually. Did I do something to this? I might have dropped it. I don't know. I'm a bit clumsy with these things. But anyway, exact same thing happens. Scan that first, and then scan your phone second. Or if you've only got your phone, that's fine. Use your phone. Now on the app itself, it will give you loads of different readings. It will tell you sort of your time that you're in target. So if you set your blood glucose levels at a certain time, it will tell you how often you're in the right bracket. It will give you trends. It will give you information up to 30 days as well, so you can see where there is, there's patterns. That's pretty much about it. Like I said, it's in a bit of a reverse state. I've took the applicator off last, and I put the new one on. No, sorry, I took it off first, put the new one on last. It's the same process every single time you do it. These are waterproof. You can go showering with them. You can go swimming. You can get them, or you can submerge them, I believe, for up to 30 minutes at any one time. Which is, if you're like me and I don't do a lot of swimming, then it's absolutely perfect. That's pretty much it. Like I said, if you're needing help, contact the Libre FreeStyle customer services. Go onto their website and you'll get a customer services number for each country. I have had to use them after my applicator fell off, after I kind of knocked it on the door. And absolutely fantastic. They'll set up an account for you, and any other issues, you go straight to them. Really helpful people and really quick at posting. Now I live in the Highlands of Scotland. Postage is a bit of a pain in the backside, but it still got to me within 3 days, the new sensor. So if you're sort of further down south, it'll be probably a day or so quicker. But like I said, if a sensor does go faulty, you need to keep hold of it, because they might request it back, and if they do, they'll send you the little bags, and they'll send you all the return details for you to actually send it back in. I kind of hope you've found this video a bit informative and a little bit different to the instructions. Like I said, the instructions are fantastic just to glance at, but I find that the placement and stuff like that is quite important. So when you're placing it, best off having your arm up like that instead of round the side, because you might feel you're putting it too far around. That's just my experiences with it. Fantastic bit of kit, really strong, really versatile, as long as you kind of put it in the right place. And the customer services as well is absolutely top of the range. I've been diabetic for 22 years, and I've always been told this technology's just been round the corner. It's just been round the corner. Yeah, 22 years later, I'm finally starting to see it now, and this is the best bit of kit. If you're not too sure about it, and you're maybe a bit sort of anxious or apprehensive about having a sensor on you, take it from me, 22 years of finger testing has taken its toll to the point where sensation in my fingers is pretty much non-existent, and this has just absolutely changed everything for me. But I suppose with this sensor as well, you still have to rotate it the same as you would your finger, so just swap it around each arm. Thanks very much for watching. Leave a wee comment or tell me how you're finding it. I'll hopefully do maybe a few more videos on the diabetes side of things, but I just thought while I had some time I would bash a quick video. I think it's going to be about 20 minutes long, so fast forward if you need to. But yeah, cheers, thank you, and I hope that it works just as well for you as it has done for me. Cheers.